In the cradle of civilization, a girl is born whose name will echo across eternity. Cleopatra, the last queen of Egypt. In the crosswinds of cultures, Cleopatra's mind sharpened like a blade. She had the ability to learn foreign languages, not only Egyptian, the native language of her subjects, but also Aramaic, Hebrew, Arabic, Persian, and Ethiopic. After the death of Ptolemy XII in 51 BC, the reign of his eldest surviving daughter, Cleopatra, began. Two siblings, one throne, Alexandria teetered on the edge of civil collapse. In the twilight of his rule, her father saw the flame of power in her eyes. The end of a king, the dawn of a legend. With Pompey dead, Caesar arrived, not merely as general, but as master of Egypt. Cleopatra came to Caesar in silence, concealed beneath sulk and surprise. Brother turned traitor, Caesar and Cleopatra fought for control, and knowledge burned. The boy king sank beneath the Nile, his reign washed away. From rival to alliance, the serpent and the eagle united in power. He returned to rule Rome. She stayed to hold Egyptians' heart. From forbidden union came a son, both promise and threat. As love flourished in Alexandria, treachery seated in Rome. Blood-stained marble, dreams died with Caesar. Far from Rome's betrayal, A queen's world shuddered to silence. Under moonlit pillars, Cleopatra cried to gods greater than Rome. Rome birthed another, a warrior's spirit with the wild in his eyes. In moonlit grace, strategy met seduction, shared throne, shared empire. Empire's fate whispered between silk sheets, ink and wine. Octavian would brook no rivals. Under the banner of Republic, he prepared his final strike.
He's no longer one of us. He kneels to the Nile.
Then I will drain the Nile, if I must.
As dark clouds gather over the east, Mark Antony convenes a war council in the halls of Antioch. War with Parthia looms. From the Nile to the Euphrates, Cleopatra rallies her Egyptian forces, archers, chariots, and Nubian auxiliaries under the banner of Isis. The eastern winds scream as Roman and Egyptian forces cross into Parthian territory, into the jaws of the unknown. Antony returns to Alexandria, defeated in Parthia but unbowed. There, he crowns Cleopatra Queen of Kings and proclaims his children heirs to Eastern realms. In Rome, Octavian seethes. To him, the donations of Alexandria are treason, a threat to Roman unity and his own claim to power. In the heart of Alexandria, Antony receives gifts beyond gold, scrolls of lost wisdom, statues from Atlantis, perfumes of Nubia. Yet the true gift is Cleopatra's gaze. To bind him forever, Cleopatra performs a ritual. She burns the last letters from Rome, severing Antony from his former world. In the eastern desert, Cleopatra and Antony hunt lions, not for sport, but for strength, legacy, and legend. In the temple of Amun-at-Siwa, a blind oracle speaks. The queen's power will shake the world, but doom follows the second son. A scroll arrives, sealed with Rome's Black Eagle. Octavian declares Antony a traitor. War is no longer rumor, it is written. To Rome, Cleopatra is no queen, but a threat. Octavian, calculating and merciless, seizes his moment. Beneath the golden halls of Alexandria, Cleopatra and Mark Antony convene their inner circle. War is no longer a whisper, it's a certainty. Driven by glory and Cleopatra's vision, Antony marches east into the heart of the Parthian Empire. While Antony fights in the east, Cleopatra gives birth to his children, future heirs of a new Hellenistic empire. In a grand political spectacle, Cleopatra and Antony proclaim their children rulers of faraway lands, threatening Rome's balance of power. With Octavian branding Antony a traitor, the Senate erupts. Friends of Antony flee the city. Rome fractures. On the shores of Actium, Cleopatra's fleet assembles. Hundreds of ships, war-ready and adorned with the symbols of Isis and empire. The fates of empires clash at sea. Antony and Cleopatra meet Octavian in a battle that will end one world and birth another. Defeat. Antony is wounded. Cleopatra retreats. The dream of empire sinks beneath the waves. Broken and betrayed, Antony retreats into the ruins of Alexandria. Pride clashes with despair as the once great general contemplates his final move. Cleopatra retreats to her mausoleum, now fortified as a sanctuary, and a tomb. She prepares for the end, yet clings to sovereignty. Hearing Cleopatra is dead, Antony is consumed by grief. Believing her lost, he chooses his fate with trembling hands. Antony lives long enough to be brought to Cleopatra. Bloodied and broken, they share a final gaze, lovers caught between gods and empires. Octavian enters Alexandria, standing before the mausoleum like a conqueror of gods. He offers mercy, not honor. Octavian steps into the silence of legend. Victory is his, Yet what he finds is not a captive, but a queen who chose her fate. With Antony gone and the mausoleum encircled, Cleopatra weighs life as a trophy or death as a legend. The fate of Egypt is hers alone to shape. Refusing submission, Cleopatra reclaims her story. In death, she preserves her sovereignty, more powerful in myth than in chains. Cleopatra's body is taken, her treasures seized, but the throne stands empty, a symbol of defiance untouched by empire. Empires crumble, statues fall, but Cleopatra remains, forever etched in the memory of gods and mortals alike. The last son of Caesar became an inconvenient whisper in the halls of empire. The scrolls crumbled. The voices of centuries burned in silence. Alexandria wept. They buried the queen, but her legend rose with the stars. She ruled from the Nile, but lived on in the veins of poets, dreamers, and revolutionaries. Cleopatra, eternal.